Managing risk in business. Have you ever heard the saying, no risk, no return? This statement holds particularly true in the world of business. The good news is, identifying and mitigating risks to your business can ensure you're better placed if the worst happens. This video has some great tips to help you understand key risks, how they relate to your business, and develop a plan to manage them effectively. Right, let's get started. As a new or growing business, you're often focused on how to make your money and keep your business humming, rather than risk management. The first step to risk planning is understanding possible scenarios that may affect your business. Let's take a closer look at some of them. Reputational risk is a threat or danger to the good name of your business, also known as your brand. It's important to understand the impact of reputational damage on your brand and the flow and effect of your business. A good reputation is one of your most valuable assets. You can protect it through various strategies such as monitoring customer reviews, developing an effective social media strategy, and addressing problems quickly wherever they arise. Business owners need to manage finances successfully. How are you safeguarding your business against financial loss and cash flow shortages? An example may be customers taking longer to pay in an economic downturn. It's important to consider financial risk because this could be the difference between your business barely surviving or thriving. Do you regularly forecast cash flow? Do you have a robust process in place for reviewing debtors? How can you ensure you get paid quickly and on time? Who are your key suppliers? If one suffers a major disaster or issue, can you source your products or support for your services elsewhere? This is especially important if you rely heavily on a few suppliers to keep your business products or services ticking over. There is always the risk of competitors eroding your market share. What are you doing to stay informed about your industry and your competitors? Do you do competitor analysis? Security risks could cause harm to people or expose personal or confidential information unintentionally. This includes cybersecurity breaches and physical risks, such as break-ins at your business premises. Key person risk is a big risk for sole traders or smaller businesses. Smaller businesses will usually have someone who's integral to the running of the business, or if they're a sole trader, they are the key person. If someone takes you or another team member away from the business, who can take over important tasks? Succession planning within a small business is critical. You need to plan for who steps up when needed. Regulatory risk is changes in regulations and laws that could potentially affect an industry or business. For example, regulatory risks could increase the costs of running a business due to higher compliance costs. There are just a few suggestions to keep in mind here, and you may have other specific or unique tasks to your industry or business. Now that you understand some foreseeable risks, the next step is to identify the key 5 risks that your business could face. This is where you start to build your draft plan. As a part of your plan, assess how likely these risks are and their potential impact on your business. The next step is thinking about specific risks and ranking them by probability from 1 to 5. Which are the most critical areas in your business? Where is your business most vulnerable? What risks are priority risks, or those most likely to happen? What risks could quite readily or quickly be managed or prevented? You now need to determine if you'll accept, manage, or transfer the risk. Let's take a closer look at each one. Accept. If something happens, you understand the consequences and you choose to accept it. This could be happening right now. If you haven't had a risk plan before or thought about the risks in your business, by default, you are accepting the risks. Manage. You understand the risks and have made a conscious decision to minimize or reduce the impact to the business through proactively managing the risks. Transfer. Where applicable, the risk can be shared by insurance and the payment of premiums. I will talk more about this shortly. Now take each risk and create an action plan, where applicable, to mitigate and manage the risk. Essentially, what key actions need to be implemented, by who and when, making sure you have clear roles and responsibilities. An example may be, for key person risk, creating processes, systems, and training documents someone can quickly follow if and when required. It's useful to talk to an expert who can advise you on your draft risk plan. Make sure you schedule in time to finish writing and finalizing your plan. If you have employees, it's important that you share parts of your plan, where applicable, with your staff and encourage healthy discussion and input. This way, your staff will help implement and drive the key actions required in the plan. It's best practice to monitor and review your plan. Things can quickly change, and so might your key risks as business evolves and grows. Your number 3 risk might quickly become your number 1. Treat your plan as a living document, not something you dust off when the worst happens. I talked earlier about transferring the risk. Many business owners need to know insurance can play a key role and is an effective way to manage risk. An insurance company can provide compensation for losses, offering valuable financial protection. Every business is different, and insurance isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. There are many cover options available for various scenarios and situations. It's important to note there's a big difference between renewing and reviewing insurance. Make sure you are taking the time to review your business insurance every year. You might be surprised how much can change in 12 months. If you want to explore your options, reach out to a local broker for specialized and expert advice about a unique business solution. An essential key risk and consideration for all business owners is health and safety. It is a health and safety requirement to have an emergency plan. So if you have staff, people should always come first. And putting an emergency plan in place demonstrates your commitment to this. Emergency planning helps reduce the downtime of your business if a disaster happens. First, you need to identify the emergency risks relevant to your business and workplace. When planning, think about scenarios that could happen with little or no warning. We can all recall sudden and tragic events that took everyone by surprise. This is the reason why emergency planning is so important. Think about natural hazards like floods, earthquakes, and extreme weather. Health emergencies have also been topical in recent times, for example, COVID. While no one saw that coming, it had a profound impact on many businesses and their staff. Workplace incidents would also fall into this category. Utility failures are also something to consider, as businesses rely heavily on these services. Power outages and water supply issues come into play here. This would also include any IT failures. You might have risks that are specific to your business. It's a good idea to talk to the staff and get their perspective. Speaking of staff, it's important to involve them in the planning process. According to the National Emergency Management Agency, your plan should cover emergency procedures for fire, earthquake, tsunami, and other hazards. Assembly points, wardens, and first aid training. How to contact staff, suppliers, clients, and insurance providers. Alternative arrangements if you are unable to access your premises, files, or other physical items. Getting your staff involved and practicing your plan is also a good idea. This way, your plan is a living document and everyone knows their roles and responsibilities. For more detailed information and support, Civil Defence has some great resources and templates. The key to getting ahead is just getting started. So start your business risk management plan today. When writing a plan, perfection can trip many of us up, and we don't finish it. So here's a tip. Done is better than perfect, because perfect never gets done. Thank you for stopping by. Jump over to BizHub and check out our other on-demand business videos. There's something for everyone, no matter the age or stage of your business. Mā te wā.